I am bringing a guest to the table for this episode. I'm so excited. I met our guest on a sorority alumni website. Don't y'all love that? That's just so me, isn't it? So anyway, Bethany, our guest Bethany is also a writer, just like yours truly, and she just published her first book. It is a beautiful children's book for the Christmas season, and I wanted her to come and talk to y'all about it, not just because it's adorable, but because it has a really great message, and it benefits some people that are doing some incredible work around the world for children. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the table, Bethany Brevard. Bethany, you there?
I am. Thank you so much for having me.
Yay! Okay, thank you for being here. We're so glad to have you. Bethany was an AD Pi at Texas State, and I was an AD Pi at Ole Miss, but had so much fun. My father made me come back to Texas, and so I transferred to UT. So, anyway.
And we all know what that code is for.
yeah, there you go. So so we met up on this alumni site, and I'm so happy to have her here. Bethany, this is a really cute and fun book for the Christmas season. So for those of you who have kids, grandkids, nieces, nephews, it would be a really fun book. And Bethany has a box set too. So tell me something. Let's start at the beginning. Where did you get, or tell us a little bit about what The Mouse in the Hammock is about?
Yes. So starting at the beginning goes way back to actually before I was born. My mom in 1970 was pregnant with my older brother, and she went into she was actually in college at TCU, and went into a little gift store on Collins Street and found this ornament that hung in a Christmas tree. It was this little mouse in a hammock, and it reminds me all the time this ornament cost $20, and you know how much $20 was in 1970.
Yeah,
it's a very expensive little Christmas ornament, and it's just this handmade little mouse. Really, it's just a little mouse head stuck on a piece of felt with a little blanket over it, and it hangs in the Christmas tree on two branches, so it kind of hangs in the middle. So I've had a mouse in the hammock on my Christmas tree my entire life. And I just thought everyone did. I didn't realize that I was anything special, or that my tree was different from anyone else's tree. So that's kind of where this whole thing started. Originally, it goes all the way back to 1970, which my husband reminds me is almost 50 years, and I then tell him that it was before I was born. So, so that's kind of where it started, and then kind of fast forward to when my kids were little. We were having a little bit of an issue with them at Christmas time. Only being concerned about what Santa was bringing them, and we were trying to figure out how we could come up with a bedtime story that would really talk about helping others. And so that's really where this story originated. It was about 15 years ago. We started a bedtime story based on the little mouse in the hammock. So then we would ask the kids at night, well, what would a mouse do to be helpful, and prepare the house for Santa Claus? And every night they'd kind of come up with little things. And by then the mouse in the hammock had evolved some. And so, because I was not given the mouse in the hammock, my parents would not give me the ornament. So I just remade it. And at that time, I remade it with a little stuffed animal that could come out. So when the kids would be like, well, taste test the cookies in the morning, we'd have him on the, kitchen island with some crumbs because he taste tested the cookies. And so all the little things that our kids would come up with, that is what the mouse would do. And that's actually what's made it into the story, into the book. So there's a couple of things, even like the mouse sews up a hole in the stocking. And that's because I still haven't gotten to that. There's still a hole in the stocking. It just, the things that the grown-ups are too busy to do, that's the mouse's job.
That's great. And that's good, too, because that tells kids there's no such thing as too small to make a difference and too small to be considered important. So I like that idea as well. I think that's encouraging for children.
Yeah, it is. And that's the moral at the end of the story when Santa rewards the mouse. That's what he tells him, is that you don't have to be big to make a big difference, even someone as little as a mouse. And I think that really resonates with kids. We've actually already started to get feedback of teachers who are using this in their classroom, and just really hearing a lot of positivity coming back to us about how kids are responding, that like, hey, I'm little too, just like a mouse, and I can do good, and things like that. And so it's really warms my heart, because my children are older now, so I didn't know how this was gonna go down. I just kind of all in created this book, and when I kind of do something, I jump all the way in. So yeah, so it's been really neat to hear some of the feedback that we're getting from children and teachers and parents.
Wonderful. All right, now tell us about the charity tie for this book as well.
Yeah, so one of the things that we wanted to do was really kind of reinforce the fact that children can make a difference. And so in the back of the book, so each book comes as a gift set with your very own mouse to hang in your Christmas tree. So when you get the gift set, it comes with a mouse, and the mouse can come out of the hammock and go around your house and do good deeds. And so what we really wanted to do was reinforce, and we're calling it the Mouse's mission. So Mouse's mission is to teach children, impact the lives of other children around the world. So it's kind of a two-part mission. So the first one is that all the mice are handmade at a fair trade factory in Nepal. And so in the back of the book, there's actually a 2-page spread that's written in language a child can understand. It's actually written for them, not written for the parents. And it explains what fair trade is, and that these women are taught a skill so that they can get a job and, provide education and housing for their children and their families. And it supports a whole village. So it's a pretty neat place where the mice come from, and they're handcrafted. So each one's a little different. So that makes them very, very special.
How pretty. Yeah.
Yeah, wow. It's really, the handwork is amazing. Actually, we got the first samples. I was blown away. I was like, oh my gosh, this is way more than I expected it to be. So we were pleasantly surprised at how the mice turned out. And then the second part of that is that a portion of the proceeds goes to an orphanage in Haiti. And so we, in terms that trying not to scare a child, explain what an orphanage is. So we just say children who have sadly lost their families. They live in this orphanage, and we provide them education and food and clothing. And so a portion of the proceeds goes to that as well. And our goal, I printed 5,000 box sets. And so with that, when those are all sold, hopefully this season, but maybe next season as well, we will end up getting the orphanage $10,000. So that's our goal, is to really support those children and love them and help them to.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, we're excited. So
yeah, this is great. Well, and I do want everyone to know, of our listeners, that I read the descriptions of the fair trade definitions, I guess, and the orphanage. It is extremely kid friendly. So even for your younger kids, but it also really gets the point across of how much you're helping other children. And I think kids like that. They like being able to help other kids, or at least mine always have. So I think that's a really good idea. I love the fact that each ornament is handcrafted, so it's its own unique mouse. So that's pretty cool too. Mouse. Yeah, that is so
neat.
And
in the back, thank you. And in the back, under the little mouse's mission, like just one sentence that it says, it's just like the mouse in our story. You may be small, but you can make a big difference. And then it goes on to say how you, as a 5-year-old reading a book about a mouse, have made a difference in the lives of these children and these women. And
wonderful.
So, so it's really geared to children. It's, And so it's been fun. It's been exciting, bit of a roller coaster. But right now we are going to lots of shows around Central Texas on the weekends and trying to just get out there and meet people and introduce our little mouse and try to spread some holiday cheer around.
That's wonderful. All right. So that said, where can we find this online to order a box set?
Yes, it is. I try to not be sneaky at all. It is themouseinthehammock.com. So nothing abbreviated, nothing left out, the full themouseinthehammock.com.
Oh, good. That does make it easy, no crazy spellings or anything.
Yeah, so. No crazy spellings, no words left out, no abbreviations, just themouseinthehammock.com.
Bethany, thank you so much for being here, 80 Pie Sister. And I am so excited for you. Wish you the best of luck this holiday. And we are just so happy you stopped by.
Thank you so much again for having me. It has been my pleasure to share my little mouse story with you.
Oh, thank you, Bethany. All right. Well, you have a good night. Thank you so much.
You too. Thank you.